So, good afternoon, everyone. And we are starting a very important part of the scientific session, that is Dr. Duru Shah oration. And for chairing this session, I invite Dr. Anita Shah, Madam, President IMS 2526, Dr. Ragini Aggarwal, Madam, Secretary General IMS 2025, IMS 2023, Vijanti Kolekar, Madam, President Bhopal Menopause Society, Dr. Shashi Srivastava, Madam, Organizing Chairperson, IMSCON 2026, Dr. Manisha Khare, Madam, Secretary Bhopal Menopause Society. I request Chairperson to kindly invite Dr. Neelam Aggarwal, ma'am.
चलेगा, नीलम को सब जानते हैं ना, नो प्रॉब्लम. हाँ, yes, we are inviting our beloved past president Dr. Neelam Aggarwal for this Dr. Duru Shah oration. Everyone knows Neelam, very silent personality from Chandigarh, and she is very sound academically, and everyone knows, few of you must have enjoyed the Chandigarh conference in last November end. I myself enjoyed. So not wasting much time in introducing Neelam. Neelam, please, stage is yours.
Thank you, Anita, for the kind words. My dear chairpersons and audience in the hall, IMS members, ladies and gentlemen. So first of all, I will just start with the gratitude. Gratitude to Dr. Duru Shah. Duru Shah, who created this oration, and then Indian Menopause Society for giving me this chance to...
Neelam, mic थोड़ा.
कोई और भी है क्या? Hello. Is it working now? Okay. So thanks to the Indian Menopause Society Central team for giving me this opportunity, and Bhopal team for inviting me here for this. And then I must say thanks to Dr. Jignesh Shah, because I was to deliver this oration last year and there was some problem. Thank you, Jignesh Bhai. And he agreed at a short notice of just less than a week to give oration in my place. So that is how I am here today in his place. Otherwise, he would have delivered this oration today here. And then I will fail in my duty if I don't thank Paresh Bhai. He helped me in putting audio clips on this oration. So just to tell you how I chose this topic. So this topic aligns with theme of Bhopal and IMSCON26. Bhopal is a resilient city, has seen repair with support. Similarly, menopausal women move from silence to strength with support. So just before starting the talk, I will call upon all of you to take this pledge that all the women should be not having pause. They should be told that there is no pause in their life at menopause. So we will start with this, no pause. ये play नहीं हो रहा? वॉल्यूम थोड़ा सा करो. वॉल्यूम देखना प्लीज. हौली थोड़ा कम.
रुक जाना नहीं तू कहीं हार के, कांटों पे चल के मिलेंगे साए बहार के. रुक जाना नहीं तू कहीं हार के, कांटों पे चल के मिलेंगे साए बहार के, ओ राही ओ राही।
So I will be just talking about the quiet struggles of the silent phase, how they lead to isolation and what does isolation look like, where is and how they will turn around. And then I will be talking about social prescription and most of all, power of connection. We all talk about all these things, but I think power of connection, I thought, will be the relevant thing to talk today in this, with this theme of betting on the front foot, playing on the front foot. So menopause is basically a biological transition which is often shadowed by social contractions, and this social leading to social isolation, which carries a mortality risk equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes per day, which we never understand. We never have this idea in our this thing, but these are research. These are the research results. Latest studies have shown that social isolation mortality risk is equivalent to 15 cigarette smoking per day. And we have spent decades mastering the HRT. And in this hall only, here, yesterday, we all talked about, and we will still talk about MHT. But now, in fact, it is the time we talk about engagement of these women with support system and helping them. So defining social isolation. So these are the various terms starting from belonging to solitude. So we will be mostly focusing on social isolation and social connections. Social isolation is the limited number of social relationships, group affiliations, and rare social interactions. That's social isolation. Loneliness is a subjective feeling of loneliness. You may be in the crowd, but you are feeling lonely. But isolation is you don't come to the crowded places. You don't come to the society. You become isolated in your own this thing. And there are various scales to objectively assess this isolation. Some are clinical scales and some are research scales like UCLA research scale for assessing the isolation. Solitude is your own choice of being alone, but there is no loneliness at that time. So isolation has many faces, yet it is invisible because it's never discussed at home, missed at the workplace, and is undeserved in health systems. So we don't know how isolation actually looks like from when we are practicing in our practices. We don't look at isolation. And there are many drivers of isolation. What are the causes which lead these women to be isolated? Starting from there is a biological, physiological basis also for isolation. But apart from that, there are physical, financial, psychological, and professional barriers which drive a woman to isolation at midlife or at menopause with withdrawal of hormones. And the neurobiological basis of isolation at menopause is physiological. It's not a choice. It looks like a physiological necessity that there is isolation. Because estrogen withdrawal, estrogen modulates release and uptake of oxytocin. We know oxytocin is the bonding hormone. Everybody knows about mother and child bonding with oxytocin. And estrogen withdrawal leads to oxytocin loss and thereby neurological drive to connect dampens and thereby leading to isolation. So is it only the vasomotor symptoms which causes the quiet struggle? No, it's much more than just the physical discomfort. Beyond the hot flush, there is widespread epidemic of menopausal isolation. And these symptoms, they produce an invisible wall by social withdrawal because of these heat and these embarrassing systems. Women start declining social invites. They push their loved ones away because of the heat symptoms. And because of the chronic sleep deprivation, they remain irritant whole day and they are not happy with the symptoms. And somehow this reminds me of that Masoom lyrics. they remain totally irritable and unhappy. Apart from the physical vasomotor symptoms, the main psychological driver at this time for creating isolation is from full house to empty nest. Stoppage of noise sometimes becomes a deafening silence. It's not only the empty nest which drives them crazy, but actually for Indian women especially, they are taught to hold on from the very beginning. They keep holding on to their children, and when these children go away, it's not only the empty nest, it's a loss of identity. They are anchors for the house, and when these ships sail away, what do they do? मुड़ के ना देखो दिलबरो दिलबरो मुड़ के ना देखो दिलबरो मुड़ के ना देखो दिलबरो दिलबरो मुड़ के ना देखो दिलबरो. Many of us are in the same boat. All our dilbaros, they have gone either to the greener pastures or whatever you may say. They may go to IT city Bangalore. They may be on the just other side of your Bhopal city. But then they leave a loneliness in the house which becomes much bigger, and the silence becomes very, very profound. And we often see these women, we treat their symptoms, but we forget to treat their loneliness, which they have forgotten, and they have forgotten to live life for themselves. So as doctors, it is our duty to look into their loneliness and to connect with this loneliness and to connect with them and to make them connected with each other. So then there is professional isolation, silent boardrooms, because word menopause is still hush-hush in the professional circles. There is fear of judgment, brain fog, leading to withdrawal from discussions, and absenteeism. Because of these symptoms, they have to take sick leaves. And these common scenarios, which always we used to quote that people are going through these common scenarios, and at this time, mostly women at this age of 45 to 50, they are at the leadership positions. But incidentally, just 2 days back, I was in Delhi attending a meeting. There I found a senior official from JPGO. So there I just happened to mention that I am giving oration on this subject. So she said, yes, this is a very well-awaited subject, means unmet need is there. But she said, I have now learned to say to my colleagues that, okay, wait, I am having a hot flush, just let it wait. Let it go away, then we will talk. So it is good thing that women are becoming aware of their bodies, their symptoms, and they are taking treatment, and they have no shame in getting themselves treated and no shame in talking about these things. That's a very big thing. So, and our generation, from baby boomers, late baby boomers to early baby boomers to late Gen X, till that time, mostly it's a sandwich generation. And sandwich generation, there are seniors for which we have to give care, and there are kids because of the professionalism, late marriages, late childbearing. Kids are also yet in the age where they demand care, and elders are also there which they demand care. So there is no me time in that. Giving care, for caregivers do not have any me time, and they're extremely busy, but paradoxically profoundly lonely. So, and we do forget to think we carry all the burden on our backs, but we often forget that we can also put this burden down. So in the process, we get disconnected, get isolated, and all this vicious circle starts. And scientifically also, it has been seen and now reported that this cost of disconnection is very, very high. Loneliness is pathological. White paper by International Menopause Society, year 2025 has reported that social isolation is a biological risk factor. It leads to 34% higher incidence of diabetes in people who are socially isolated. And also 3/4 of them cannot have proper control because of their isolation and other symptoms. And also isolation is a higher predictor of cardiovascular disease. So after all this isolation, drivers of isolation and cost of isolation, we have now to come up with solutions, and what better than this IMSCON 2026 theme. Second innings, menopause is not the end. Game has not yet been over, only pitch has changed. And playing on the front foot is a metaphor for engaging with life's decisions very emphatically and not delaying them. Life has to be taken head on. It's proactively attacking isolation. Don't just defend loneliness, but aggressively build new connections and communities. With confident mindset, we have to aggressively build new connections and step out of the crease here at IMSCON 2026. So where is the turning point? From where we should turn? Isolation is not a geographical area that you go to this boundary and then turn back. It is just the state of mind, and connection is the bridge we build back to ourselves. So we will be only talking about all these connections only. So what treatments or tools can these women try dealing with their feelings of isolation? Treating the symptoms that are playing a role in the isolation or loneliness is the first port of call. And seeking care without shame will be the first step, and midlife can be a new beginning by making connections. There is much more than beyond hormones. From symptoms treatment to the whole woman, holistic approach. There are so many things on this holistic approach and are being discussed in so many forms. But here today we will be focusing on the relationships and the connections. So we will be dealing with a new prescription, which is social prescribing. Social prescription for menopause. It's a holistic healthcare approach that connects women to non-medical community resources. And this is now scientifically proven and recommended also as exercise groups, peer support groups, and to manage physical and emotional challenges of menopausal transition. That, of course, is there along with. But along with that, physicians can prescribe for these non-medical community connections. We don't just tell them that now you get a new hobby. It is not like getting a new hobby. It's a clinical intervention where we treat social disconnectedness as a comorbid condition, and we have to treat this comorbidity. So it moves us from being just prescribers to being connectors, so that women can just get back to their premenopausal happiness. So this is the evidence-based fact of social prescribing, especially in the UK, in the European studies, European countries, the social prescribing has been studied by a few studies, and there have been 6 studies in total, and then a meta-analysis of those studies. A Norwegian study has explored involvement of community pharmacists in social prescribing in mild to moderate depression and anxiety, and the findings show that potential of the pharmacists is there to provide non-pharmacological alternatives to antidepressants. So first they would be sending the patients to the social prescription by the pharmacist, and more than half of the women will not require antidepressants. Then the meta-analysis of these 6 studies has explored the involvement of community pharmacy in social prescribing, and findings suggest potential benefits for the patients. So building the bridges is taking single step towards each other. So bridging these connections can be made meaningful by organized community programs, regular social interactions, structured support groups, whatever you may do for these connections. Connection is the basic key, and according to Brene Brown, connection is why we are here, and it's what gives us purpose and meaning to our lives. So connection is the most important thing in these women, and connections can be in the form of support groups, which reduce the stigma of symptoms and can create a safe harbor for discussion. Can be in the form of creative arts. At this time, women can discover their potential for the creativity in different arts. And digital health, leveraging technology to bridge geographical gaps and bring care to the home, is also available in a big way. Digital technology is bad also, but at this stage, it can be used for making the connections. And it's now time to rewrite the script. From a solo act to an assembled, connected, vibrant communities is needed. So we have to discard this solo act. Volume देखिए.
एक दूसरे से करते हैं प्यार हम, एक दूसरे के लिए बेकरार हम, एक दूसरे से करते हैं प्यार हम, एक दूसरे.
So what is the new treatment? There is shift from the old model to new model. So in the old model, components of our old prescriptions, pill for every ill, is changed by to connection for every social contraction. Okay? So what is the matter? So first question in our busy clinics is, what brings you here today? So now in the new model, what matters to you? How you will feel happy today? What is your what is your need today? So from illness, what is your illness? How you will be well? From illness to wellness. From I of isolation, we have to move to V of connectivity. Clinicians or social prescribing link workers work with women to co-produce a personalized plan formulated specially for them. For promoting connections. For promoting connections, there are 6 key approaches, and link workers, these are the 6 key approaches described in literature for the link workers to make personal connections with their patients and to assess social isolation by a tool, objective isolation assessment by a tool like UCLA loneliness scale. Then education, why social prescribing matters, and to tell them about the resources present in their community and recommend that changes are attainable. Like any new treatment, any new technique you follow, changes will take time, but they are attainable. And also, it is not only for the patients, it is for the caregivers themselves also. They have to reflect inwards also, because first, till there is social wellness in your own life, you cannot treat the patient.
Hey, zindagi milke bitayenge, हाले दिल गाके सुनाएंगे, हम तो सात रंग हैं, ये जहां रंगी बनाएंगे, जिंदगी मिलके बिता.
So it's all about being connected to each other. So how do we prepare the menopause menu? To putting practice to this and curating a specialized, personalized menu. It can be in the form of sari groups, some other social groups, digital communities, physical communities. As medicine, we can recommend movements in the group yoga or gully walks to combat sarcopenia as well as isolation simultaneously. Then there can be creative groups for local art, pottery, nutritional workshops. Whatever skills a woman has, she can choose to reskill at midlife. So it is basically moving from the invisibility of home to the visibility of community. You have to come out of your invisible home to the visibility in the community. And identity which they have lost with the midlife, with their empty nest. So we have to give back that identity to them by connecting them to each other in the society and to other things. So from illness to wellness, recommendations and referrals to appropriate resources such as support networks, social activities, wellness programs, helping making the link between social connection and improved health outcomes. So we have been doing menopausal cafes and all these activities all throughout the year, our Indian Menopause Society. We have to proactively transmit them to our women also. The expanded role also aligns with LSM principles, and the only thing is emphasize social connections with overall well-being. So this is a true success story. If you go to the YouTube, it's a viral success story of Mumbai, of 5 friends. They just made a community chai circle in Mumbai. Agenda was walk and talk. And result, there was significant reduction in the symptoms of depression in this group. Simple connection is the powerful medicine. That is the bottom line. So we used to practice medicine as art. But now for these connections and social prescription, we have to practice art as medicine. So do you see this prescription pad? Here only symptoms, similar symptoms at midlife. Most of the women will have this invisible brain fog, withdrawal, anxiety, social isolation. They have lost the sense of purpose. So here you cannot treat them with medicines. You have to artistically treat them artfully. And this art is medicine. This has a biological basis. As I told you, estrogen withdrawal leads to oxytocin withdrawal. So similarly, as you connect them, on the left side is the highly disconnected brain with high cortisol levels and the other hormones like adrenaline and noradrenaline overlay. And the other, on the right side brain is well connected. And what is the biology of connection? Physiological basis, oxytocin effect. Meaningful social interaction triggers by making the connections in the brains, triggers oxytocin, acting as a natural buffer to anxiety and sleep disturbances. Then dopamine release and purpose. The group activities stimulate the reward system, combating the anhedonia, often mistaken for clinical depression. And then neuroplasticity. Learning a new skill in a social setting helps fight the brain fog seen in our clinic every day. So this is the biology of connection. So this has a scientific basis also. More than only connection of the body, there is something beyond the body. That is a spiritual connection, inner bridge. We are talking of the bridges. Bridges from hospital to the community garden, bridges from illness to wellness, and bridges from treatment to chai circle. And this is the inner bridge. Inner connection strengthens the outer resilience. Midlife invites reflection, not only treatment. Spirituality offers change and calm. Faith, mindfulness, and purpose reduces distress. We all have at least, I have practiced myself. If you have a faith, your distress really goes down. Keeping faith relieves your distress. So, what is the global position of social prescription? How has social prescribing evolved globally? WHO recognizes social prescribing as being a vital tool to achieve health and non-health service integration, and WHO has created a course on this topic. On the social prescribing, they have created a course. And in UK, there is social prescribing link worker that provides individualized support to people in creating personalized care. And white paper of International Menopause Society, which I already mentioned, for where I have mentioned about loneliness as a pathology. There they have also given the treatment, they have given sixth pillar along with the therapeutic lifestyle management, which we all have been talking, physical, CBT, mental, other things. So with this sixth pillar, White Paper 2025 mentions as relationships, and that is their connections. In Canada, health equity is the cornerstone of effective social prescribing. So this is about the UK, USA, and all those countries. What about our countries, Southeast Asian countries or Asian countries? So this is NHS UK. At the core center is the social prescribing link worker who works with all of them. Initial is with this. So rather than GP, now they are shifting to the, rather than GP, they are shifting to the social prescribing link worker. First contact is social prescribing link worker in UK, NHS. So this is Bangladesh. Very happy to see that Sukhi Gram is Bangladesh's first digital social prescribing ecosystem, and which is a shift from neglect to dignity, isolation to empowerment, and from silence to sustained support. And this is provided digitally, home delivered care. So this is Bangladesh. You all must be wondering why I am not talking about India, because India has a big chunk. That's why I will be talking in the end about India. So this is for us a proud moment. When I was searching the literature, our Indian Menopause Society came as the first resource for social prescribing. Although it is not a formal social prescribing platform, but this is social prescribing, and this comes at the first number. And also they have given all the sites, they mention our website in the literature for social prescribing. And then there are other programs in India. This is My Sakhi, where primary focus is on educational tools and community empowerment for women's health. Then Mirror, which is Femtech platform for perimenopause and peer connectivity. And Soul Up, which is a structured therapist-led support group in India. So these are good, hopeful news for us.
कुछ पाने की हो आस आस, कोई अरमा हो जो खास खास आशाएं, हर कोशिश में हो बार बार, करे दरियाओं को आर पार आशाएं.
So this is not anything, this is in fact the poster which was given in 2012, where in the holistic approach, already emotional and soul support has been mentioned. Our cultural context is also of connectedness. Joint family systems has been the hallmark of our culture, Indian culture. But with the changing generations, from baby boomers to Gen X, Gen Z, and now going to further alpha and beta. So these generations, especially Gen Z onwards, they will not have this cultural context in front of them. So they are digital age born babies, and they are digitally nurtured. So they do not know that for them we have to have the power of connections to be passed on to them. So these are the latest CPGs 2025. They also mention strong social connectedness and perceived emotional support are associated with better quality of life and lower anxiety through their influence on biological, psychological, and social determinants of health. So this is our IMS stand on connections. So call to action. What should be our new mandate? So in our new mandate, we should screen for loneliness as we used to see. We have been taught to see those 4 vital signs, pulse, BP, this. So we have to, at this age, we have to record a vital sign in the form of loneliness, which we have to, because it is a vital sign, we must screen for loneliness in each woman who presents to us, whether with complaint or with vague things. So how do you screen for loneliness in the clinic? Simple question, how many times did you have a meaningful conversation with someone outside your house last week? How many times you have had coffee, chai with your friends? And promote the social prescribing by telling them the facts that social prescribing reduces hospital visits by up to more than 1/4. And it makes a win-win situation for the patient as well as the healthcare system. And time and again reinforcing them, the change will come. So, screen for loneliness as a vital sign. Partner with local NGOs and community groups. Prescribe connections. Connections should also be a prescription. Your prescription along with your clinical prescription. Like Meeta was showing today, TLSM, then calcium, vitamin D, then there should be some prescription for the social connection. Because we can replace the hormones as doctors, but only community can replace the heart. So we should be able to tell our grandkids in a few years' time, once upon a time story. Like we all of us must be telling once upon a time, there was a thirsty crow, there was this, that. So we should be able to tell them that once upon a time, there was a menopausal woman who walked alone with questions in her eyes and silence in her heart. Today, she walks with many, with knowledge in her mind and courage in her steps. From isolation to connection, endurance to expression, from midlife emptiness to meaningful life. This is not the end of her story. This is just the beginning of her voice. So I end with this message. What should be our message what is my message from Bhopal, from this IMSCON 2026? Second inning of life is not to be played alone. With connection, care and confidence, women can be made to play on the front foot, turning midlife into winning partnership. And this is the spirit of IMSCON 2026, from silent survival to connected living. So I end with this anthem of ultimate success for collective success and community strength.
हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन।
Thank you.